Hi, everybody. My macro planning project is on homelessness on the island of Oahu. So the problem, as of September 2022, there are approximately 3,951 people experiencing homelessness on the island of Oahu. There are only 3,687 beds available and only 33% exit to permanent housing. So the rationale, the cost of living in Hawaii continues to grow. According to the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, one adult in Honolulu needs to make $22.69 per hour for a living wage. If looking at a family of 2 adults and 2 children, each adult needs to make $29.19 per hour. Milk can cost up to $9 and minimum wage is only $12 an hour. So one intervention that's often covered in the literature is local media. So this impacts the victimization of the homelessness, and more positive perspectives may increase empowerment. This brings awareness to social issues and mobilizes efforts through policy change. This is important because what we see on news can impact how we think about an issue and therefore impact how we feel and act on these issues. Housing First is another really popular intervention that has a lot of evidence based on it, and it's quite effective. This is based on the understanding that stable housing is a key determinant of health. Once an individual has stable housing, that can create a foundation upon which the individual can continue to address other needs, such as substance abuse. Intensive case management is another option that's been studied. This has limited impact on employment and alcohol intake, and homeless individuals may need more intensive housing and longer-term support. Outside factors may be inhibiting greater change, which means policy changes will be needed to change outcomes. While intensive case management by itself may not be as effective, studies have found that combining intensive case management and Housing First led to significant improvements. So the macro intervention that I chose to utilize for this project is utilizing the local media. So the engagement, stakeholders will include homeless population, their families, and any of the families of the homeless individuals. So my role will be to engage in local media outlets to cover homeless individuals' stories and portray them as unique individuals. So politically, Hawaii is more liberal, meaning that they might be a little more open to this particular intervention. And what I don't know is how much resistance these new stories will encounter. Assessment. So for the target of change for this particular intervention is changing the views of the community on the issue of homelessness. So the intervention strategy is community building and public education advocacy. So this will humanize homeless individuals by educating others about their lived experiences. This will reduce stigma surrounding homelessness and the conditions that lead to it. So by adjusting community views of homelessness from micro-related deficits to macro concerns, the idea is to then funnel that into community push for policy changes to create more affordable housing, more Housing First vouchers, and increased funding for concurrent intensive case management. So intervention strategy. So who will be involved? Social workers, homeless individuals and families, local news outlets, and local media. Who needs to be engaged? So local news outlets, television commercials, streaming platforms, and then social media platforms as well. So possible collaborative efforts include local nonprofits, the state of Hawaii, and even the city and county of Honolulu. So assets, strengths, and resources. So this could be a potentially cost-effective intervention as most social media platforms are free. There are several resources through the state that are also available to assist those struggling with homelessness that could also be willing to collaborate with us. Chronically homeless individuals cost taxpayers over $35,000 a year. However, giving them stable housing costs about $12,800 a year. This could be a huge incentive to end homelessness. This intervention also brings the community together to end this issue for those struggling with homelessness. So guiding theories, systems theories is one of the guiding theories. Individuals are impacted by what information is being presented to them through the media, which can influence how positively or negatively they perceive an idea. Social exchange theory, while this isn't the primary guiding theory, there are components in which we can use to help persuade those who may be opposed to this intervention. The potential cost effectiveness of this intervention, plus the possible savings, could be convincing. And then also the foundation of this intervention is strengths-based theory, emphasizing self-determination and individual worth of individuals and families experiencing homelessness. So goals and objectives. The broad goal that we hope to attain is to create a greater public push for more affordable housing, housing first vouchers, and policy changes that will benefit the homeless population. Objective, increasing public awareness of the complex issues surrounding homelessness and using stories from individuals and the families experiencing it. Measurement, pre and post intervention surveys, measuring public opinion. Surveys will measure public opinion on topics using numerical scale to measure changes between post and pre-surveys. Evaluation, this intervention will be evaluated by examining the change from the pre and post intervention surveys. Needed resources, diverse and as many stories as we can get to truly shed light onto this issue. And then funding for the platforms that do need to be paid, such as newspapers and commercials. Potential challenges could be political adversaries, as many people believe homelessness is an individual issue rather than systemic. And then funding for television and news platforms may be limited. In conclusion, by allowing individuals who are experiencing homelessness to share their diverse stories about their lives, we can get a broader view at the contributing factors of homelessness. These stories will be used to increase public education, build a greater sense of community, and eventually policy change. And then these are my references.